Jean Baudrillard's theory of the self, navigating the simulacrum. Jean Baudrillard, a French sociologist, cultural critic, and philosopher, is renowned for his groundbreaking theories on hyperreality, simulation, and the collapse of meaning in contemporary society. Central to his body of work is his profound exploration of the concept of the self in the context of a hyperreal world dominated by images, signs, and simulations. In this comprehensive article, we delve into Baudrillard's theory of the self, examining its intricate layers and implications for understanding identity in the postmodern era. The hyperreal and simulation. At the core of Baudrillard's theory of the self lies his critique of hyperreality and simulation. Baudrillard argues that contemporary society is saturated with images, signs, and symbols that have come to replace reality itself. In this hyperreal environment, the boundaries between the real and the simulated blur, leading to a loss of meaning and authenticity. For example, consider the phenomenon of reality television, where scripted narratives and staged interactions create a simulated version of reality that viewers perceive as genuine. The disappearance of the referent. Baudrillard contends that in a hyperreal world, the tangible, material reality to which signs and symbols refer has disappeared. This disappearance of the referent results in a proliferation of signs and images that circulate endlessly, detached from any anchor in reality. Consequently, the self becomes enmeshed in a web of simulations where identity is constructed through mediated experiences rather than genuine human interaction. An example of this phenomenon can be seen in social media platforms, where individuals curate and project idealized versions of themselves, blurring the line between authenticity and performance. Simulacra and simulation. Baudrillard distinguishes between three orders of simulacra: the counterfeit, the production of the same as the original; the perversion, where the distinction between the original and the copy is blurred; and the simulation, where there is no longer any reference to reality. In the realm of the self, these simulacra manifest as constructed identities, shaped by media representations, consumer culture, and virtual interactions. Consider the phenomenon of celebrity culture, where individuals attain fame and status through carefully crafted personas and images, often divorced from their actual lived experiences. The end of the subject. Baudrillard's theory of the self posits the dissolution of the subject as traditionally conceived. In the hyperreal age, the subject, the autonomous, self-aware individual, is replaced by the simulacrum, a fragmented, superficial construct devoid of depth or authenticity. The self becomes a spectacle, endlessly consumed and reproduced in a spectacle-driven society. The individual is reduced to a passive consumer of images, existing only as a fleeting presence in the spectacle of hyperreality. This phenomenon is evident in the phenomenon of influencer culture, where individuals gain social influence and validation through the cultivation of carefully curated online personas. Alienation and nihilism. Critics of Baudrillard's theory argue that it leads to a sense of alienation and nihilism, as individuals confront the arbitrary nature of reality and the dissolution of traditional markers of identity. In a world where simulation reigns supreme, individuals may feel disoriented and disconnected from any sense of meaning or purpose. However, Baudrillard also suggests that this alienation may paradoxically lead to a form of liberation, a recognition of the constructed nature of reality, and the possibility of creating new meanings and identities in the absence of fixed reference. For example, consider the phenomenon of identity fluidity, where individuals embrace fluid and non-binary conceptions of identity, challenging traditional categories and labels. Conclusion. Jean Baudrillard's theory of the self offers a provocative critique of contemporary society and its relationship to identity. By examining the proliferation of simulacra and the dissolution of the subject, Baudrillard sheds light on the complexities of identity in the hyperreal age. While his ideas may be unsettling, they also invite us to question our assumptions about the nature of reality and the construction of the self in an increasingly mediated world. As we navigate the terrain of hyperreality, Baudrillard's insights continue to resonate, challenging us to rethink our understanding of identity and meaning in the digital age.